Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt Crew podcast. Dave Pele, Josh Pele, Mario Heron joining us on a Thursday talking Charger football. And it's not just the Chargers that everybody's excited about, guys. It's obviously the entire NFL is now hooked into what's going on in minicamp. Now, usually I would say, minicamp, big damn deal. We're so far away from the start of the season, but there are storylines all throughout the NFL. And actually, we're going to get to tons of Charger talk. But I will tell you this before we get to Charger talk and other NFL news, please subscribe to the show. If you aren't subscribed to the show, we need you to do it. At the same time, please always give us that thumbs up. We appreciate that as well. Comments on the side already coming in, and we'll address those as best we can. At the same time, talk about some of the comments from the last show as well. So we're getting a lot of interaction. I think a lot of people are a little bit jumpy. People we thought were friends no longer are friends. People that weren't our friends are now our friends an hour later. So hey, we'll figure the whole thing out together here. I just want to start real quick with what's going around the NFL with the Jets, because the Jets are one of those teams, those organizations. I don't know about you guys, but I'm older than both of you. And the Jets have been a disappointing organization my entire life. As I said, the time they won the Super Bowl, I wasn't even born. Mario can't believe it, but that's actually true. And the fact the Jets got so much publicity last year with Aaron Rodgers and everything that they have going on, and then Aaron Rodgers plays, 3 downs, and then he's out. The fact that Aaron Rodgers misses minicamp the entire week just says, hey, I'm not coming. And the coaches knew and the organization knew I wasn't going to come because there was something that was more important, is amazing to me. I love to see chaos when it's with another organization, and I love that it's happening in the number one media market in New York with the Jets, because Aaron Rodgers is what he's always been, and that's a punk. And he's showing it right now in the last year of his contract at his age when the entire organization has gone all in. The Jets have gone all in for this 1 year, knowing that they are in hell after Aaron Rodgers leaves. He's all they have, and yet he's not going to show up to minicamp. Just curious, am I the only one that loves to see the disaster of the New York Jets?
I don't hate the New York Jets particularly, but I think I do hate Aaron Rodgers. And it sucks because when I was a kid, he was my favorite player in the league. And I know Mario hates that because he grew up as a Chicago Bears fan / Chargers fan. But I hated Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I hate Aaron Rodgers now. He was so cool, I thought, as a kid. He's a punk, dude. How are you going to go out like this when an organization has bent over backwards for you, have done everything they can to surround you with the weapons? The defense is awesome. The offense is the part that let down because you weren't healthy last year. I'm rooting against the Jets more than every other team outside the Chargers division because of Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, I've never rooted for Aaron Rodgers in my life. One of my favorite moments is when he broke his collarbone. Shout out to I'm kidding. Didn't love that moment. Felt really bad for him. No, I just think it's insane. Like, if you're the Jets, like, look, I understand he's this veteran quarterback. I understand he's been in the league for a long time. He's done over 15 mandatory camps in his career. He doesn't really need to be there and everything like that. But, don't you want him to connect with the team? Like, when you're an injured player, you're not with the team the full year, Dave. You're not with them. You're not with them through the grind of the whole season. He was out week 1. He didn't show up to practice every day. No, he wasn't there. You kidding me? He was having fun with Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee show every damn day. He had bigger things to worry about, man. Like, he wasn't caring about what was going on over in New York. It's just a moment to kind of get to know your teammates, get to know the guys, build chemistry, and he decides he doesn't want to be a part of it in the New York market. I think that's a pretty bold thing to do, and I think he's acting a little too much like on this star, on this, second coming of Christ of a quarterback, when it's like, dude, you're on the tail end of your career and you have one Super Bowl to show it for yourself. As much talent as you have and as good as you are, in terms of what you achieved, it's still pretty disappointing.
Couldn't agree more. It's extremely disappointing as far as where he's at right now. Again, this is one of those things with when you follow his career, it is so weird that he did that kind of the Brett Favre move, that he went from Packers to the Jets. Yeah. He didn't send the picks out as far as we know, but he's done the move from the Packers to the Jets, and it's been a bigger disappointment than what Brett Favre was. I mean, he didn't help out Zach Wilson at all last year. And, all the stuff that we're going to cover for him, I thought it was really interesting. They had on Fox yesterday talking about that look for Robert Saleh to walk it back, because that Aaron Rodgers will come back upset that he said, he had other things that he thought were more important to him to do. And I tell you what, if you end up doing that as a head coach, that backfires, right? Where if a head coach sits there and has a player's back, I think it works in other sports. When it's a long season like Major League Baseball, where it's 162 games, or the NBA where guys are grinding and they're going to 82 games, you understand it. But in the NFL, it's 17 games. And I think because this game is a game of toughness and a game that guys don't play, long as far as the average NFL player, you can't walk it back. You have to show a toughness factor. And where I'm going with this is Belichick was known as, the no fun guy, but at the same time, they won. And if for a fan base, is which we were trying to make the point a couple days ago, that the only thing that matters is winning in Super Bowls, that you need a coach that creates that respect factor and almost a fear factor. And I hate to say it, Jim Harbaugh has that. What I mean is, I hate to say it, is if I'm a player, it's like, hey, I'm willing to give you my best, but can you give your best every day? Because Jim Harbaugh is going to expect your best every day. As fans, we expect your best every single day, as we've been critical of players that we think don't give their best every single day. And so, Josh, I'm going to throw to you on this transition, because Joey Bosa, who's always interesting to me on the way he sees the world, is Joey Bosa completely had a player's coach in Staley for him. Remember, Joey Bosa was the guy that spiked his helmet against Jacksonville in the playoffs after he was a disaster for the team. And what did Staley do? He picked up the helmet for him and handed it back to him, a complete embarrassing moment. But then what happened this week, Josh, with Joey Bosa?
He took a shot at Brandon Staley. He said that it feels great to be part of a team where the coach is leading everybody in the same direction, which was interesting. And then he said it's good to be part of a team where the message that the coach sends, or the message from the top, goes directly down to the players. There's no miscommunication. But that one I thought was more on John Spanos. I didn't think that was a direct shot at Brandon Staley. I watched the whole Joey Bosa press conference. I hope you guys did too. You're going to hate me for saying this. I actually liked a lot of the things that Joey Bosa said. You take some things with a grain of salt when he said during the press conference that this is the healthiest he's been in 5 to 6 seasons. Like, okay, well, I guess I'll believe you, I guess. I mean, I'm not you. I don't know how you feel. He said he was struggling a lot last season. He came back too quick is what he said. He took an unnecessary risk. Those were his exact words. I'll just leave it at that. He also talked about Bud Dupree, how it's going to be nice to have no drop-off when him or Khalil Mack leave the field. I thought that was kind of a shot at Chris Rumph. But I agree with that. Bud Dupree is one of those guys that's had to deal with a lot of injuries, just like Joey Bosa. So you expect a lot. There's one thing I want to talk about real quick before I pass it over to Mario. A lot of people were talking about the Super Chat. So I'll give you guys an update on the Super Chat. It's not that we don't want money. I mean, look at my setup. Do you think I don't want money? Look,
why are you so dark today, by the way? Why is it so
dark in here? I don't know. I have the light
feels
on
dark.
I don't know. I should make
Dark
it brighter
thoughts.
though.
Do you have the light on in front of you?
I have a ring light on me. I got lights that I don't have on above me. Hey, relax. All right, calm down. The reason why we don't have this Super Chat
Dateline and stuff with it's all blacked out, witness protection guy.
I look like an unlocked character. The reason why we don't have a Super Chat is because YouTube makes it extremely difficult for you to switch over from the channel you're on previously. So we're under the JP25 media umbrella. Therefore, we have to submit all the tax information into YouTube's AdSense account. See, now you guys are getting me into all the weeds here. But anyways, within the next couple days, hopefully, we'll have the Super Chat back. Cross your fingers. We got to get approved. But I submitted all the tax information yesterday, so hopefully it's back.
Good deal.
An update on that, too. I was just doing some editing stuff in the YouTube studio. I turned it all on right now. I saw where it says turn Super Chat on. I just turned it on. So if it works for this live stream, fantastic. If it does not, it'll work for the next one.
All right. Perfect. Good deal. Appreciate it. Mario, do you have to comment what do you have to say about Joey Bosa?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess let it rip on just throwing people under the bus. I mean, shout out to the kid, right? Like, he just kind of throws Staley on the bus, throws Chris Rife on the bus. All right, man. I mean, I'll give him credit, though. Like, he did say that, we kind of been really hard on him saying, he cares more about money than football than winning or anything like that. Kind of question his drive. And, he pointed out, I want to shot with the guys in the locker room, especially Khalil. And that's what it was. Winning games is more important to me right now than making some extra money. I said this multiple times, guys. I really do think we're going to get the most committed. Boom. See, we got it. That's called math, baby.
Thanks, Gabriel.
I do think we're going to get the most committed Joey Bosa we've ever gotten. I really, really do. I think he's really buying into this system, buying into what Harbaugh's building. And I think he's tired of hearing the crap, Dave. I really do. I think he's tired of guys like us. I think he really is.
I'm sure he is. Look, I hate the fact that we
Whatever.
have to address it. I know people will sit there and make comments and say to us, "Hey, man, I love when you lose your ass over Joey Bosa." Usually it's, of course, I'm the one that gets upset. But I'll tell you, man, the thing that really bothers me about Joe Bosa, I don't want to hear any more about Nick Bosa. I make comments about it. I wish you were the player Nick Bosa was, but I don't want to hear him talk about his brother. Like, you're getting paid by an organization very handsomely. I mean, about $40 million a year. Yet you've only played in 14 games over the last 2 seasons. So it's like, man, if you aren't available, how good are you to us? And so it's very frustrating when you're hearing stuff about the Niners, or that he shows up to playoff games wearing all his Niners gear. I hate it. I just can't stand it. It's like he has envy of another organization. I'm not a Niners fan, man. There's one team we're rooting for. It's the Chargers. So when he talks about other organizations or playing with his brother one day, all that stuff drives me crazy. I like the fact that he dropped Khalil Mack. He said exactly what the three of us have said, meaning that, hey, you know what? I want to run it back one more time with these guys, especially Khalil Mack. Because how do you look Khalil Mack in the eyes in that locker room and say, I'm not giving 100%? How am I not doing everything I can to get on the field? Another thing that bothered me about Joey Bosa over the last couple of days, when he talked about his injuries, and he talked about, his knee and his ankle and his foot or whatever the hell. There are 3 of them that he complained about. Guess what?
Groin.
He didn't have surgery on what was it?
He said groin also. There's four things.
Okay, 4.
Yeah.
He didn't have surgery on any of them. And what, do you have surgery on his finger? Was that the surgery he ended up having? It was. Yeah.
I
so
mean,
it was,
just because you didn't have surgery doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
Dude, everybody hurts. Everyone right now in the NFL hurts today. After day 1 of minicamp, everybody hurts.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes. It's the sport. It's the lifestyle you chose. And so when he sits there and doesn't need, surgery, or when you find guys have a torn pec and play through the whole season and then they get surgery, that's what you call leaving it all on the field for you. And for me, I just don't think the game is always that important to him. And it bothers me. And I'm at the end of it now where, dude, you better have the year of your life this year. I mean, there's no more excuses at all. Yeah, again, you have a coach that, the funny thing is, again, we've brought this up. You got a Michigan coach. Michigan hates Ohio State. Ohio State hates Michigan. But the guy who's the boss is a Michigan coach who gave you an opportunity to stay around one more year to prove yourself. Prove yourself. We all want to see it. Be available.
He talked about Jim Harbaugh. Someone asked. I'll give the media credit. They asked some great questions, I thought, to Joey Bosa. One of the questions was, how much of a factor was it that Jim Harbaugh was your coach when you decided to come back? He said it was a factor, but I didn't even barely talk to him before I signed back. I was like, how does that happen? How do you barely talk to the coach before you make a decision where you're going to go? They also asked him about his relationship with Jim Harbaugh. He goes, I remember kicking his ass when he was at Michigan and I was at Ohio State. That's what he said. So like, all right, he was not wrong.
You know what? I would have said that. That's something I would have said.
Yeah. I like that, actually. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, it was good stuff. There's a question here that I would like to address. It says, are you guys going to collaborate with other Chargers podcasts? All right. This is my personal stance on this one. No. I really don't want to, because I feel like a lot of the other Chargers podcasts don't agree with where we stand on things. I've tried to listen to a few other Chargers podcasts where they tell you that it's sunshine and rainbows all the time when it's not. And I feel kind of like a sellout if we jumped on a bunch of other Chargers podcasts and took a different stance. That's just the way I look at it.
I don't know about you, Dave. I'm kind of all set. Like we can have guests. I know we didn't wait on one time. We can have guests from other guys on Chargers pods, but do like a full on collab one. That's a lot of voices. If you're people that don't know, like that's gonna be 5 guys on one screen. That's gonna be one really hard to divvy out to handle. I'm all set. Plus, I don't know if you guys think they like us. I don't think they like us.
No.
I don't think everybody likes us.
No, because the show's different. We addressed the show in a different angle, even more so now that we own the show. The 3 of us own the show. Look, man, when the Chargers win, you aren't going to see 3 bigger Charger fans than the 3 of us. I mean, we're going to be the ones leading the parade. But look, when the Chargers aren't playing well, to call them out on the carpet, I think is the most fair thing to do. To be a realistic fan, I think is the most fair thing to do. And I understand the last couple shows, we rubbed some people the wrong way. We aren't saying that it's over forever. What we're telling you is when you pick 5th overall in the draft, it's not good enough. That's called a failure as a year before. That's where we're at. So the fact that we're realistic, look, if you want us to sit there and lie to you and tell you everything's great and the referee stuck it to us, I mean, come on, man. Enough. I mean, the referee stuck it to us where we ended up picking 5th overall in the draft. I mean, it was a disaster last year. That's not what we predicted was going to happen. That's not what you expected. That's not good enough. Imagine if that was the team every single year. And as far as Justin Herbert, I understand he's the golden boy. He's our 3 favorite player. Out of the 3 of us, he's our favorite player on the team. But you want to sit there and say that we are too tough on Justin. I'll ask you this question, guys. As a fan, you just ripped Aaron Rodgers, who has 1 Super Bowl. If Justin Herbert retires with a career like, let's say, Dan Marino, where the guy never won a Super Bowl, are you okay with that? Or do you expect Justin Herbert, by the time he retires, to get you a Super Bowl, to win one?
Oh, 100%. I expect Justin Herbert to win the Super Bowl, and I expect it to happen within the next 3-4 seasons. We've talked about how this is a process, right? We've said on this show, in 2 to 3 years, the Chargers roster is going to be completely revamped. The few guys that you should expect on the team in 3 seasons will be Ladd McConkey, Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt, those types of guys. I believe we have placeholders at tight end, running back, even guys like Josh Palmer, I'm not sure would be on the team in a few years. Derwin James will be leading the defense, hopefully, the rest of his career. And then you got Joey Bosa. Who knows what his career or his future is with the Chargers. But I think Justin Herbert is the one thing that we should always be proud of. We're huge Justin Herbert fans on this show. A lot of people get upset with us for mentioning we had 5 wins last year. It's the truth. It's not Justin Herbert's fault we had 5 wins, but he was the quarterback for a lot of those games. So we want to point out when he doesn't do his best. Do you see Justin Herbert talking about how many comeback wins he wants this next season? Do you guys see that part? Oh, he didn't talk about it.
No, I didn't do it.
Oh, no, because he never talked about it because he doesn't care.
I'm glad I didn't say yes,
the thing that Justin Herbert did say, though, nobody cares about the comeback wins except for the Charger fans. The thing he did say was, I don't care if I throw the ball 100 times or 1 time. I just want us to win. And that's one of the things I love about Justin Herbert. I pointed out last show that a lot of the wins the Chargers have had, he hasn't thrown for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's like 1 touchdown and 200 yards, whatever it is. So he doesn't need to be the hero. I think this next season we have a great running game with Greg Roman's going to help us out there. We have 2 running backs that are going to help us out. Hopefully Gus Edwards' injury from today is nothing serious. But I think Justin Herbert's going to have less of a burden on his shoulders to lead the team, and he can just be a great quarterback that has a better offensive line and a better running game.
I think we're entering into the most important part of Justin Herbert's career, because we're entering into where he finally has a real respected, high authority head coach that has experience in winning football games, experience in being in a Super Bowl, and knows what it takes to win in the NFL. It's a whole new era for him. It's a whole different time. It's a whole different feeling for Justin Herbert. And I think he went from his kind of rookie year to who the hell is this guy? This guy just kind of pops up, seeing anywhere, throwing the ball, to being like if you're a scout, if you're someone close to the NFL, they ask you the best quarterback is or most underrated player, it was Justin Herbert, right? And he was getting underappreciated. Then he got overappreciated, and then people started hating on him because he doesn't have the wins. And I think now we're in a spot of it's time to show it or shut up. And, you mentioned it, Josh, like he doesn't really care about the past. He doesn't care that he doesn't have any comeback wins and how bad that's been. And to be honest with you, I hope this year coming up, there are no comeback wins. Because if there's no comeback wins, guess what? That means we just won. Like that means we just had a lead and we held it a whole game and we won. And Dave, how many times have we held the lead and didn't win in the end? A lot of times because it's called charging it. Look it up in the dictionary. I probably wrote the definition for you. I'm fine with not having a comeback win this year. Let's not do it unless it's to like the Chiefs and we do it to them and it makes Travis Kelce cry. And just side thing on Travis Kelce too, I'm all set on any more of his content. He's not funny. He's not entertaining. Like I've gotten an overdose of Kelce. Let's pipe it back. This guy's not that entertaining. Jason's funny. Travis is not that cool. He's just really good at football. Haircut's bad. Dude, that thing's bad.
All right, so I want to go back to one thing Josh just said as far as this roster is not the roster you're going to see in a few years when we all believe they win a Super Bowl. No joke, to the point where I'm telling you right now, go back and look at this 2024 Charger roster, and you're going to say, remember when we had this effing guy? That's what you're going to be doing a lot, I think, when you look at this roster. Am I right? I mean, that's where these guys are, and that's fine. Again, it's building blocks. Someone just put a comment. I'm sorry, man. I would say this all the time. My eyes aren't great, but I'll be able to catch part of it. It was about Jim Harbaugh saying that he expects this year to be competitive. Well, that's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear, the old line where, we're going to be good in 5 years, or I have a 5-year plan because I have a 5-year contract. That's not what you want to hear. You want to hear them be competitive every single year and make a run. Jim believes they can make a run. I mean, listen to him talk. It's not BS. One thing about Jim Harbaugh, he's not a BS guy, right? Except when he's talking to the media and he kind of goes around questions. He doesn't exactly lie. He just doesn't answer the question. But I'm 100% fine with the way everything is going, with the direction and changing the tone. That's why you brought him in. That's why you paid him so much money. That's why Dean basically fired his son, was because enough is enough. And so you sit there and you take your hat off to him and you say, this is exactly what we want, and this is why we brought you in. The things, as I hate to say this all the time, we're going in the right direction. I can't say that enough, that I'm pleased with the direction they're going. The way they're doing it, I mean, you want to talk about baby steps where they're taking football back to 1961 with the run game, because when's the last NFL team to win a Super Bowl that did it through the run game? It's not today's NFL. But you know what? We got to be strong in the inside of our house before we can be strong on the outside of our house. And that's what Jim's doing. He's doing baby steps from the inside out. And that's the direction they're going. And it's hard to complain when the number one job is to keep number 10 healthy. And so, someone wrote on here also, I think Robert writes, 4.5 of those games lost were not on Justin Herbert. Look, when you're the quarterback, man, you get way too much credit for the wins and way too much blame for the losses. We all know that. You're the face of the franchise. For every team, you're the face of the franchise. I can almost make the same comment for Bryce Young, who was on a terrible team and looked like a terrible quarterback last year. You can sit there with any quarterback that has success or a quarterback that has failure. And that's where Justin Herbert is. And guess what? He'll wear that. Justin Herbert will wear all this. He understands why he makes the most money of anybody on the team and that he is the face of the organization. When you listen to Justin talk, Justin sounds like a different person. To me, he sounds like he's 5 years more mature than he sounded, just last year. He sounds like a different guy.
100%. And that you saw the report that he threw 5 touchdowns yesterday at the end of practice. Well, that's kind of what you expect from Justin Herbert, MVP caliber player, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Mar, I got a question for you. Do you take the blue pill or the red pill? You look like you're in the Matrix.
Oh, I do look like I'm in the Matrix.
Dude, it's driving me a little nuts. A little
Is
bit.
Where the hell are you?
All right, so I'm in the BetMGM Tonight studio, presented by BetMGM on the BetQL Network. They can tune in to 7 and 11 p.m. Eastern. I'm in the studio right now because there's someone else in the office I'm usually at, and I left my microphone here, so I'm here right now, and I'm in the producer part of it, so that's why I'm here. Yeah, but that part, I don't know why this is green, by the way. That's not our colors. Our colors are black and gold.
It looks like one of those things like where, Mario, you can see your brain working, like he's thinking,
Like
the thought process.
The Zach Galifianakis meme.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover when you're counting cards. That's what you look like.
That's a pretty good comparison,
Good one.
even though I can't count cards. That's a skill I want to learn, though. So if anyone knows how to count cards, type in the chat and send your boy a link, and then see you in Vegas.
So one thing that you've heard from everyone, I mean, literally all the media members, tons of the players have spoken about Ladd McConkey. Justin Herbert's quote was, "He looks like a 4 to 5 year veteran." I'm on the side of him being the number 1 receiver, like Josh Palmer staying as the number 2, and Ladd McConkey being the number 1. I think Ladd McConkey, this is not a joke, I think he could be top 5 in the NFL in targets. That's how many targets that guy's going to get. He's going to remind me of was it Michael Thomas with Drew Brees, right? The slant machine.
Yeah.
I think Ladd McConkey could be like the slant machine. He's going to get the crap kicked out of him every single game, but he's going to have like 8 catches. I literally think he's going to have 100 catches on the season and be top 5 in the league in targets. I really think so.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, the targets part, just because, like you said, there's kind of no one else, and those slant routes are going to be huge, especially on those close third downs. Because, I mean, if we're going to run the ball as much as they say we're going to run the ball, it's probably going to be 2-3 yards a pop. Then what? You're sitting at 3rd and 4. Why not fake hand off in a quick slant? It's 3rd and Ladd, baby, and let's dance. That wouldn't surprise me on the targets. Someone talking to someone the other day, if it would surprise me if Ladd led all the rookie receivers in receiving yards, and I was like, said honestly, and I'm curious for your guys' thoughts. I said I'd be shocked just because I think Marvin Harrison's going to get insane volume with Kyler Murray. I literally think Gannon's going to tell him, hey, I don't give a living hell what happens. Just close your eyes and throw the damn ball downfield, and that rookie's going to catch something. So, I think that's going to kind of ruin it. But I think Ladd, Dave, can be in top 5 maybe as like a rookie in receiving yards, maybe in catches, could be up a little higher in top 3.
That'd be interesting. We said this before about Lad McConkey, because if things turn out the way the Chargers expect them to turn out, that means you get Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh are geniuses. Because I've said before, I've watched a ton of Georgia games, and I've watched Alabama against Georgia in big-time games, and not once was I ever concerned about Lad McConkey. Now, if he ends up being the stud, I mean, I'll be honest with you, Puka Nacua was a guy that I wasn't aware of how great he was going to be, and neither was the NFL. That's why he was drafted in the 5th round. But, you hear as you said, Josh is going to be, a slant machine, a Wes Welker type guy, an Edelman type guy, that can he create space? I mean, what can he do yards after catch? Is it going to be, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, or is it going to be 3 yards in just a cloud? Is he going to just take a beating? What happens? Because if Lad McConkey ends up being the guy that you guys are saying he's going to be, he's the kind of guy that all of a sudden people are buying that jersey. People love that stuff. They love that tough wide receiver that takes a beating and pops right back up and does it again. He's going to become a fan favorite before you know it.
I think so for sure. I don't think he's going to be a guy that lights the world on fire with 1 million touchdowns. I think he's just going to have a lot of yards and a lot of targets. So if you look at the receivers that were drafted ahead of him, I believe he was the 7th drafted receiver. I 100% agree with Mario. Marvin Harrison Jr. I think is going to have a lot of yards, a lot of catches. That team stinks. Then you have Malik Neighbors. I don't believe in Daniel Jones. I don't know if Daniel Jones can get him the ball that much. I would never draft anybody on the New York Giants for fantasy football. Rome Odunze is the number 3 receiver with the Bears. I don't think he's going to have as many yards as Ladd. Then you have Brian Thomas with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't believe in Trevor Lawrence. I think Brian Thomas is number 2 over there, so I don't even think he's going to have as many as Ladd. Xavier Worthy's interesting with Patrick Mahomes. I'm not sure about what happens there. They also have Marquise Brown now, and you obviously have Travis Kelce, so he's going to be sharing a lot of the targets. Then you have Ricky Pearsall with the San Francisco 49ers. He's going to be the number 5 option in that offense. Keon Coleman with the Buffalo Bills. He could be a guy that has a lot of yards, a lot of targets. And then you have Lad McConkey. And obviously Xavier Legette with the Panthers. That team stinks. So I don't know, man. I think Ladd is a guy you can definitely take in fantasy football and feel good about it. He's going to be like Wes Welker. It's a great call. I think not just because of, the similarities and the way they look, but the way that they play. Also, the way I see it too, the reason why I think Ladd's going to have a lot of targets is because I don't trust yet that Quentin Johnston can get open consistently. DJ Chark's a huge question mark. And then Josh Palmer, if he can stay healthy, he's going to take a lot of the targets. But Josh Palmer is yet to prove he can stay healthy for a whole season.
Yeah, the Palmer thing too. I feel like it's 1 in 3 games he tends to show up. You know what I mean? Like it's 1 in 3 games that you kind of get that insane performance of him. So I don't think you're far off on that one at all. Quentin Johnston, I just really think he's going to be just a deep threat guy. Like it's really going to think we need a deep play. Let's go run speed. Let's try to beat the safety over top. I think that's going to be his role. And Ladd's going to be everything else underneath. The other guy I would watch out for in those rookie receivers, though, is Mitchell out of Texas that got picked by the Colts. He could really slide in there and be pretty impactful. I know he's going to split catches a lot with Pittman, and I think Josh Downs that's over there. I'm a big Josh Downs guy, UNC boy. Shout out to him. But I think he could actually sneak up on the scene and be like a pretty big wideout, pretty big weapon for the Colts right there and could probably stack up some yards. I'm interested to see when Brendan Rice's role gets bigger, Dave, and if it does get bigger, right? Like I think we're going to see a lot of him in preseason, obviously. But, I've said it before, but I'm really curious that if the start of the year we don't see much of him, and as the year goes throughout, we see more and more and more of Rice, especially if injuries happen. That always happens. We are the Chargers. Injuries happen. So when that happens, I'm curious when he gets brought into the mold and how much more time he plays and what the hell they do with Darius Davis as well.
All right. It's funny you bring up Rice because, let's be honest. If Rice, his dad wasn't the greatest receiver of all time, I don't know if he gets drafted. I mean, everyone is saying, hey, don't forget about him. Don't sleep on him. Of course, he played college football in the same city where the Chargers are. But yet at the same time, man, every NFL team passed on him over and over and over again. Like, is he that good, or are they taking a shot at him because they believe he can be great? Not saying his dad, because to say that he's the next Jerry Rice is ridiculous. But at the same time, can you do it or can't you do it? I mean, half of those genes are his mom. So who knows? I don't know what kind of skill she had, but the fact that every NFL team passed, it kind of reminds me in baseball where you see guys who get their sons get drafted because their dads were great baseball players, and then they don't seem to work out. I look, man, he's a Charger, so I hope he has a great career, but it's one of those where he's going to get the fair look because, I mean, I don't care if you're Jim Harbaugh or not, where you don't give an S about anything, you're still going to cut the greatest Hall of Fame, greatest receivers, son, and look that guy in the eye and say, "Yeah, I get your kid." I mean, he's going to get every single opportunity to prove that he's an NFL player, but I'm not sure what he is. I don't know. The receiver you're hearing the most about right now out of the young guys across the NFL is Malik Neighbors. Right? Yeah. You're hearing a ton about Malik Neighbors, how the Giants can't say enough nice things about him. Some of these comments, guys, I don't know if you've paid attention to the league about, where guys stand, and you're hearing, Bryce Young is doing great with the Panthers, and Dave Canales says he's grasped the offense and he looks completely different. You're looking at different guys. The funniest one is Drake Maye. Man, he connected yesterday on a back shoulder pass, and that's something he can hang his hat on, go to sleep with tonight with a smile. And I'm like, what? Like one pass for 3 hours? That's what you guys are going to bring up, that he came through? I mean, Drake Maye might be a great NFL player, but no one's expecting Drake Maye to light the world on fire this year. He's a young guy. The Patriots stink. He has no talent around him, but it cracks me up that that's the best they could sit there and put out publicity-wise on, hey, look at our young quarterback. It's interesting to see how things will play out. I think when, a lot of people obviously play fantasy football too. When you guys just went through your list as far as the Bills and other teams that have young wide receivers, look, Diggs is gone. So you got to think a lot of targets are going Coleman's way, right? That kind of deal. Xavier Worthy, I don't know what's going to happen in KC. That offense worked pretty well without Xavier Worthy, has worked pretty well without Tyreek Hill, even though he's supposed to add the speed aspect to it. The big talk is Xavier Worthy. Who are we kidding here? It's about his mom. Everyone can't believe how smoking hot his mom is. Everyone's like, have you seen his mom? Dude, Xavier Worthy has to outplay his mom's looks. That's where he's at right now. So, look, if you're KC, you understand you're wearing the horns, and at the same time, you're the world champions. Great. That's who we're trying to catch. That's who we eventually want to be. But for the Chargers, right now, everything is in place where things are going in the right direction for me. And I hate to use the same, words and phrases over and over again, but it sounded like it was a very productive week for the Bolts.
Yeah, a lot of positivity coming out of the Chargers. Is there a certain person you look to when they say something that means more to you? A certain player or even a coach from the Chargers? Or is it all the same to you?
Mario, you got one?
Yeah. Like
anything Khalil Mack says. Anything Khalil Mack says for me.
That was my guy too. And Derwin James. I feel like those two guys, I believe what they have to say. Everybody else sugarcoats everything.
And the reason I'll say Khalil, not only has he seen it all and he's been at multiple organizations, he has nothing to prove. He has nothing to prove except he loves this game, and the only thing missing is a Super Bowl win. That's all he's looking for. The fact Derwin James, honestly believe, even though he's still young, what's Derwin James, Josh, about 28, 29? I'd say young, but he's not young. NFL terms, he's not young. Derwin James is at the point too where, hey man, if I'm going to make my mark, my legacy, it comes with winning games. And I never feel like Derwin's playing for the paycheck. And I think the more guys you have that are concerned about wins and legacy is more important to me.
Yeah, he turns 28 next year. I agree with Khalil Mack. Whenever Khalil Mack says something, you listen. And Joey Bosa kind of said the same thing. When Khalil Mack took his pay cut, it kind of woke up Joey Bosa to do the same. If he's willing to take a pay cut and he had 17 sacks, my tired act should take a pay cut as well. That's basically what Joey Bosa said. I kind of paraphrased that. But basically, everything that Khalil Mack says, I believe. There's certain people, Mario, when they say something across the league, I just want to type on Twitter, shut the F up. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an example. Okay. You ready for this one? When Anthony Richardson said that the NFL is easier than college, it took everything in my power to not respond. Shut the F up. What? You didn't even play it.
Yeah. No kidding.
You saw 2 hours of, you saw 2 hours of play, brother. Let's pipe down.
Why would he say that?
Crazy.
No one says that. No one says that. We always hear from quarterbacks say in college everybody's open, in the NFL nobody's open. That's what you hear all the time.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Okay, you ready for this one? This one is even football related. It's a football player, but he's an idiot. Micah Parsons saying he can hit 200 in Major League Baseball. Are you out of your freaking mind? Are you out of your mind? There's professional baseball players that can't hit 200. Dude, you're a great football player. That does not carry over to hitting a baseball. That's kind of stuff drives me crazy, dude. Like, you're not Superman. Sorry.
Also, can he just focus on football and stop with this, the baseball crap, the sumo wrestlers? You're not that funny and you're not that entertaining. Just be really good at football first before you go towards the entertainment, man. My Lord, get your second contract before you do all this bull crap. This guy can't be more annoying. And it's one of those guys too that I know he's really, really good as one of the best edge rushers in the league, but you're not the best. And he walks around like he's the best. I'm like, buddy, let's pipe down over there. The only people that think that's the best is those weirdos in Texas where all they know is football. And they can't say 2 + 2. They can tell you what cover 2 is. You know what I'm saying? Those are the only guys that believe that. The only thing I want to point out real quick, guys, because this was worrisome to me.
Before you get to your point, I tell me if you guys would pay for this. I would pay for this. I would do a pay-per-view, 10 major league pitchers giving 10 at-bats to Micah Parsons. If you put, Paul Skeens and Tyler Glasnow and Yamamoto, and you throw in 10 pitchers and you go, dude, you got to get 2 hits off of them and you get the pot. Otherwise, those 10 pitchers, they get to split the pot.
I would 100% watch that.
Yeah,
you need fielders, right?
Yeah.
Because if he lays down a bunt, you got to throw him out.
Hey, well, he said he could hit him. He said he could hit 200. Let's see it. Honestly, I would love to see it to prove that, hey, this sport is extremely tough.
Yeah, it's disrespectful to baseball players.
Very. That being said, screw the baseball players.
What if Tyler Glasnow said, hey, if I played for the Cowboys, I'd get 25 sacks without a doubt. Or I'd get 8 sacks, whatever the comment. They would never say something like that. But to say I could hit 200 in Major League Baseball, I'm out of your mind. You know how hard it is to hit a Major League Baseball pitcher?
So we're flirting with the Austin Rivers comment, right? We're flirting with that right now.
Yeah, what do you think? What's your stance on that?
I mean, I don't think there's some guys I've seen in the NBA that could definitely play in the NFL.
Who?
There's
which one is coming to your mind?
I've said LeBron was an all-state player in Ohio. He could have.
I agree.
So
LeBron could be a receiver in the league.
Remember Willie Cauley-Stein, the Kentucky big man? He was an all-state receiver. That's 7 foot.
Dude, just throw it up high in the corner of the end zone, red zone. Specialist.
Yeah. So I mean, you have stuff like that, but he does have a point. Not every NFL player can go play in the NBA because I think NBA you need too much God-given gifts, right? You have to be 6'7" or above, or you're not going to play in the NBA.
You got to be
what's
extremely
the average
skilled.
NFL players? 6'8", 270? Come on, man. These guys are so fast. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, dude. Come on, man.
It is. It's crazy to me. I'll say this, as a guy who covered all 3 sports for 30 years, NBA players are so much bigger, faster, and great athletes. You just can't believe it. I mean, I'm in NFL locker rooms all the time, and I'm not kidding. I'm not much smaller, if not bigger, than a lot of these guys. But when you're in an NBA locker room at 6'3", I feel so tiny, man, so short. And these guys are wide as hell. I mean, they can barely walk through doors, some of them. Arvydas Sabonis looked like he never lifted a weight in his life, couldn't walk through a doorway without turning sideways and ducking his head. His shoulders are so freaking wide. Look at Yao Ming. Look at Shaq. All these guys are monsters.
I think still the funniest. Sorry to cut you off, Josh, but
no problem.
My favorite thing is of all time of the NBA and just in terms of size is KD refusing to say that he's 7 foot. When you go see him live, he's very clearly 7 foot. He stands next to Giannis, dude, you're the same height, and he's just I'm 6'10". It's dude, come on.
Nowitzki used to pull that. Remember
Nowitzki? They said 7 foot 2 actually.
Yeah,
he's way over 7 foot.
And he always wanted to be known as 6'11". I'm like, dude, some people think you're 7'3". What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Very, very strange.
Can I bring up something that I thought was very concerning? I made an alarm for this and it just went off. And I was like, all right, I need to bring this up. Are you guys nervous about the drop worry that's been going on? I know we were talking about receivers earlier, circle backs, probably should mention earlier, but the drops that have been happening in camp. Are you guys worried about that? There was one that's been mentioned by multiple people saying that, let me find it right here, that there was a terrible drop by Stone Smart, who was wide open down the seam and he dropped it. Could have been a touchdown. Is that a worry for you guys? Because I read that, and if they're saying it's bad then, like however badly the riders and guys say from camp how things was, I always think it was 5 times worse than actually that, because they'll still try to like spin it in a positive way. Is that a worry for you guys? Because I'm going to rip my hair out if I see a lot of drops this year.
There's one person I'm looking at. I think all Charger fans are looking at the same guy. It's Quentin Johnston. Did he catch the ball? I mean, seriously, swear to God, when you watch these clips on Twitter, tell me if you can find more than 3 clips of him catching the ball securely and not bobbling it. I mean, that's the guy I'm concerned about. If he can catch the ball this season, I'll be happy. Stone's smart to me. If he does anything, it's a positive. But can Will Disley get any yards? I mean, if these guys just catch the ball that Justin Herbert throws to them, I'll be happy. Josh Palmer, I think, has very good hands. Lad McConkey has good hands. Can Quentin Johnston contribute and catch the freaking ball?
Yeah, no, drop passes obviously is scary, right? I mean, we're even talking about full uniforms and contact. Like, what? Yeah, what do you mean? I mean, I can go to the park with Josh and do fine catching. By the way, the name Stone is a horrible name for a receiver. You know,
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's a terrible name for a receiver.
You're gonna get bullied.
Yeah, every time you drop a ball, man, it's in your name. You know, you got hands of stone. What are we doing here? Terrible name. Quentin Johnston's the number one guy I'm concerned about. I just want to see Quentin show some kind of improvement, and not just a little bit. I mean, a lot. I want to see a much better player. I think everybody does. It's not a outrageous opinion.
Mario, you have any of the trivia questions?
So I have a really, really hard one off the bat.
Okay.
So I'll let people in the comments, like, this is a really, like, I don't even know if you're gonna get this.
All right. Well, we'll see how smart our audience is. Let's go. Write your answer in the comments.
All right. This guy was a Hall of Famer for the Chargers. I believe one of the first Hall of Famers. His nickname was Bambi, former wide receiver.
I got it.
You got it already?
I know it. Yeah. Watch. People are going to get it right away. Go ahead. Keep going. You have anything else?
I played for the Cowboys as well. Bambi was obviously, by the way, he ran.
His number's retired. It's right there. Robert got it right away. Lance Allworth.
Did he really? Wow.
Yep.
Super Bowl champion.
I feel like that wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
Considering the Chargers have one Hall of Fame wide receiver, right?
I mean,
no,
I was
Charlie Joyner too.
I was just. I mean, I was like 1960s. That's pretty far back.
Well, for you, some of these guys have been around longer than me. If you look at these comments. All right, go ahead. You got another one?
I'm trying to find the ones that aren't that hard.
Gee. Okay.
Because some of these are really, really hard.
What, went to NC State, wore number 17? What do you got?
I mean, one I had was who had the nickname Lights Out.
Oh, we got that one.
Easy.
Come on.
Yeah.
Been a guest on the show.
I
look at Mike G calling you out. Mike G's in too easy.
No, sorry, guys. Look, I have to do trivia for another show too, and I accidentally pulled up the wrong one, and now I'm a little scrambled right now because I was about to ask you. I was about to ask you guys who the betting favorite was for most receiving yards this year. And I was like, I realize that's probably a dumb question. Which San Diego offensive lineman was nicknamed the Intellectual Assassin?
That's a good one.
Offensive lineman?
Offensive lineman.
All right, let's see. Let's see what the audience says. Let's see how good they are at this one. I know this one too.
You know this one too?
Yep.
Steroids, man. All right, well, that's not it.
He's talking about Sean. I think he's talking about Sean Merriman.
Yeah. Not Will Clapp.
No, it's not Nick Hardwick. All right, if they don't answer it in the next 10 seconds, I'll do it.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Someone had his name on there, but they weren't.
5,
they had the wrong
4,
answer to the question.
3.
Was it Mix?
Yeah, it's Ron Mix. It's Ron Mix, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Ron Mix.
Ron Mix, super cool dude, man. Went to USC, was an attorney, Hall of Famer. Ron Mix is was a really good guy, and at the same time, always looked out for guys that were former NFL players trying to raise money for them. Great dude. A lot of Charger fans upset. Here's a funny Ron Mix story for you. So Ron Mix plays entire career with the Chargers, retires. Al Davis offers him as much money for a 2-year contract as he made his entire career with the Chargers to come out of retirement. And of course, he signs with the Raiders. So the Chargers, like, we got to unretire this guy's number. I think it was number 74. The Chargers were very, very upset that Ron Mix came out of retirement. But Al Davis basically said, I'm going to pay you everything you ever made with the Chargers for 2 years if you come out of retirement. He's like, all right, man.
I mean, how do you not do that? All right, I got a question for the fans. I got 2 questions. All right, first question. How many Chargers have their number retired?
You asking the
You know
fans
the
that
answer to
question?
this one? Yeah, do you know the answer to this question?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, while people are putting in the answer,
It's not as
Keenan
many as you
Allen
think.
It's
Just
not.
let
Should
that
Keenan
people
Allen
know.
get his number retired?
Yeah. She
Okay,
gets
so-
retired tomorrow.
So I'm no one's hit the number yet, right, Josh?
No,
maybe
somebody has.
No, oh yeah, there you go.
All right, I'll call out the person that got it right. Mike G, 6. So I'll reel them off for you.
What
Yeah.
can I try? Let me try.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Lance Allworth, Dan Fouts, LaDainian Tomlinson,
Mhm.
Kellen Winslow has his number retired.
Yep.
Ron Mix had his number retired. Charlie Joyner, number 18, I think is now retired or going to be retired this year. If it was retired last, no, LT got it retired. Before Seau has his number retired. Am I right on that? Does Seau have his number retired? Or did they
Yeah, he
issue it?
does.
Okay. And because here's the deal, the NFL discourages this, by the way, for people to get upset. The NFL doesn't want them retiring numbers. The numbers are obviously, there's a reason. But also remember, the NFL is all about the team and the logo. They aren't for the individual players. Now, most teams have a ring of honor. The Chargers have a ring of honor that's, if you go to a Charger game, it goes all the way around the stadium. But it's, as far as taking a number completely out of circulation, is something the NFL is against.
All right. So you're wrong, by the way.
Go ahead. Give me.
Okay. There's a caveat. So here are the 6 retired numbers, or here are the 6 numbers by the players: 14, Dan Fouts; 19, Lance Allworth; 55, Junior Seau; 21, LT; 80, Kellen Winslow; 18, Charlie Joyner. There should be 7, but when Ron Mix played for the Raiders, the Chargers owner unretired his number. Yeah. So there you go.
What a jerk.
Okay.
I got a good one.
All right.
What Charger quarterback led the team to an upset win of the AFC Championship versus the Steelers in 1994?
I know that.
Ask that question one more time. I'm sorry. I was reading comments. Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Which quarterback led the Chargers past the Steelers in the AFC Championship in the 1994 upset?
Got it.
Not Leaf.
No, it's not Leaf.
But Leaf was having a good time that day, though.
The people got it right here. They got everybody has it. Do you see it?
Oh yeah, that was quick. Shout out GTL and Mike G.
Yeah, Stan Humphries.
G in the chat. G a little rich, buddy.
I think B. Hannon got it first.
All right. Let me go.
Oh,
right under Aaron Rodgers.
Too. All right. Let me. I'll throw this one. Make it a little bit tougher. Who was the quarterback of the Steelers when the Chargers beat the Steelers to go to the Super Bowl?
Nice.
Oh,
I don't know that one.
Neil O'Donnell.
It was Neil O'Donnell.
So I'm looking at the stats right now.
I didn't realize you were playing. What the hell, dude?
Oh, my bad.
It was Neil O'Donnell. All right. I like it's Aaron Rodgers talk smack now, fools. That's funny as hell. And I got a million things to say about Aaron Rodgers. We could do a whole nother hour on Aaron Rodgers. That's not an issue right there. I mean, I think, and look, I'll speak for Jets fans. I think, dude, the pandemic was 2020. If you're going to spend all your time worrying about the pandemic and the shot, I don't know what to tell you. It's 2024 and you didn't play in 2023. Like, show up to minicamp. Like, you got other problems outside the pandemic and Fauci and everything else. Like, nobody cares right now if you're a Jets fan. You just want them to show up and hit the wide open receivers and get on the right track with this offense and lead this team to a Super Bowl. They've been waiting since Joe Namath. I mean, come on, number 8. Let's go.
This is kind of good for the Chargers, though, right? Like, that's one AFC.
Oh, that's why I brought it up to start the show. This is great because they're an AFC team. That's why I brought it up because it affects the Chargers. I couldn't be happier that Aaron Rodgers shows again why he's a train wreck.
Yeah, I hope they keep sucking it up, keep blowing it. Aaron, stay away, party, take some shrooms, have a great time. That's one extra playoff spot. Then when you come back to New York, blow it all up.
Yeah.
Robert Salah, keep running stairs and not figuring out X's and O's, baby. Keep blowing it. Keep that playoff spot open. We'll go ahead and take it. Bills can take that division again. Mike McDaniels can go crap himself again at the end of the year with him and Tua. We'll take the extra playoff spot.
Yeah.
Let's dance.
Robert Saleh is going to be out of a job in a year. He's going to be that guy in the middle of the night when your TV's on and you wake up and realize your TV's on. It's holding that shaver that you put in your 2 fingers and you're rubbing your bald head, shaving your head.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Robert Saleh, former head coach of the New York Jets. When I shave my head, this is what I use since I'm out of a job because Aaron Rodgers never showed up to practice. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.
There you go. You guys got any other ones on the side you want to get to before we get out of here? I got to catch a plane. I'm going to go see Josh this weekend.
Damn right. Going to the Jack Daniels distillery.
Hell yeah.
Let's go. That's sick.
All right. Let's reel this off. Dave. So Eddie Ramirez asked this earlier. We teased it. So,
I love this.
Off the top of your head, no order.
Wait, Eddie, I'm going to
do
ask you a question real quick. Of all time or currently?
Currently. It has to be currently.
Okay.
I'll let him answer, but it has to be currently.
Oh.
Okay.
You
You want to read the
off.
question for people who didn't see it?
Yeah, Mario,
Josh?
put it on the screen if you could. Okay, just go currently.
You want me to just name 10 guys off the top of my head?
The top
I'm going
10.
by I'm going by I don't know if I'm going fame or athletic ability, but I guess it should be probably one of the same. Number 1 right now,
Fame. Go fame.
trying to think, is LeBron bigger than Shohei Ohtani? That's the question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he said no order. So I'll go LeBron, I'll go Shohei.
LeBron's
go
the
Mookie.
biggest star in LA by a mile.
But
He
I'm
has like
thinking,
so many followers. He has like
is it
200
LA or
followers
is it
on Instagram.
worldwide too?
No,
But is it
it's-
worldwide?
LeBron has much more fame than
But
Shohei.
Shohei has his own TV channel in Japan.
Basketball's a worldwide sport.
Okay. Well, baseball's big in Japan.
Does Shohei have fans
All
in
right.
the Czech Republic?
How big's Japan compared to America? LeBron's big in
looking?
China. Like, what are you going to do?
Okay. All right, let's take it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japan's population's pretty big.
Bad opinion.
So that-
Yeah, I don't know
is
what
it
to tell you.
really?
I'm saying you got your own channel. That's pretty impressive. Okay, so what I got LeBron. I have the sad part is, am I going to get to is Herbert in the top 10? That's okay. I'm gonna hold off on Herbert on this one. LeBron, Shohei. I'm gonna go Mookie. I'm gonna go Mike Trout. I'm gonna go Yamamoto.
It's 5.
5. I'm gonna go. I would say Kawhi, but he wouldn't show up for this list either, so I'm not gonna go Kawhi. Caleb Williams was in this list a year ago. He's not in this list anymore. Clayton Kershaw, I think, belongs in the list. A lot of Dodgers in here. Aaron Donald would be in. He doesn't count anymore. Aaron Donald doesn't count, right?
Cooper
No.
Cup? Maybe? I don't know.
Top 10's tough. I'm
Okay.
trying to think. I'm not going soccer, not going hockey. How many do I have right now, Josh? What is that?
6.
I've only have
Wait.
6.
Are you not going to say a Charger?
Yeah,
I'm
what are you
trying
doing?
holding off. I'm going to go Justin Herbert. I'm going to go Justin Herbert's in the top 10. I think Justin Herbert's
For
in
sure.
there. NFL number 1 sport. Herbert's in there. I don't think there's a LA Ram in there. I don't think a Ram makes it in the top
You
10.
don't think Stafford is in the top 10?
I don't think he's in the top. Is Anthony Davis bigger than Stafford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Kawhi Leonard bigger than Stafford?
Oh.
He is. Probably
Paul
is.
George, James Harden,
Yeah, Harden definitely is.
Russell Westbrook.
I know
I
when
bet
we sign
the-
off, I'm going to be pissed. I missed somebody major. I do this list every year. I always write it down just for my own personal amusement.
Would you wouldn't you say Kawhi's kind of fall off though? Because he's really quiet. Like Harden likes to stay in the light a little bit, and PG has like a podcast. Like his audience is gonna grow, but Kawhi like stays in the dark. You know what I mean? Like
Harden
he doesn't.
showed up.
James Harden's definitely in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah, Harden showed
Yeah.
up he's a Hall of Famer. So it's, I mean, but then NBA, everyone's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Russell
everyone's
Westbrook's a Hall of Famer. You know,
About Khalil
Paul
Mack.
George will probably end up being a Hall of Famer. Khalil Mack, pretty good one too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a ton. I'll take LA over any other city in the United States right now. I mean, I think they bury New York. That's the only other city that you'd think would try and run this poll.
Chicago was kind of on the come up if everything checks out.
Yeah, but they're top 10
I don't
compared to
know.
LA's top 10.
There's like no recognizable Cubs right now.
No.
Bulls kind of right.
Yeah, Bulls is I was thinking Bulls be the huge dip. I mean, Shota kinda, Dansby kinda, I guess.
No.
Belly kinda,
No.
but like if
You have
Caleb
Belly
pans
here, he
out,
wouldn't make it. What?
yeah. But like if like Connor Bernard and Caleb Williams like really pan out with
Yes.
Bernard is, then it's
Yes.
yeah, they could flirt with that.
There you go. I don't know. I'm
Oh,
curious to
there's-
know what other people's lists are. Submit them in the YouTube chat when
Yeah,
we sign off.
I
I'm
wanna
kind of
know.
curious to know what people's top 10 is.
Very.
I did say
Here's
Yamamoto, Nestor.
Yeah, you did. Here's a super chat by B. Hannon. He said, "Would Alabama beat the champions of the UFL?" Yeah, they would, and I feel really good about that. I know a lot of the guys that play in the UFL, and they couldn't make the NFL rosters. Alabama, so many of their players make NFL rosters. Their top level talent is too good for the UFL. Like at skill positions alone, their corners can't guard the top Alabama receivers that are going to get drafted in the first round. Stuff like that. It would be a huge talent gap. So
Mike G wrote something interesting. Is Harbaugh bigger than Herbert? Now I know he doesn't go in the top 10 because he's not an athlete, but is he bigger than? He is bigger than Herbert, isn't he?
He is definitely.
Yeah.
I would say so.
I think he's the draw, right? Like he's the draw to the Chargers game. It's like not really the players, it's Harbaugh. Like Harbaugh is the biggest name right now. He's the champion just won college football. He's been to a Super Bowl. Like if you go to the game or you ask someone random on the street, who's your most famous Charger, recognizable Charger? I think they're gonna say Harbaugh before they say a player.
Yeah. Well, that's think about when they put the games on prime time. They're for Harbaugh, not Herbert, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's for. All right, we're gonna lock the show up because I gotta get at it and get on the plane. Again, appreciate all the comments. If you did not watch this show live, you can watch it on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, again, the subscribe, the likes, all that stuff that we need. But leave your comments. I try and respond to every single one of them. If I didn't respond, I guarantee I saw it. If you cuss me out, sometimes I'll respond, sometimes I won't. Hey, the guy who yelled at me last week that wanted to fight in the front yard, he didn't show up today.
Damn.
Yeah. And Angie said she's back, but Angie, I didn't see her today as well. I told Angie, you leave when I tell you can leave. No, I didn't tell her that. I didn't. And Angie, if you leave,
I told her I love her.
No, I'm kidding. Angie, I'm joking 100%. Angie's great. Glad we had a conversation about it. So, sorry. Hope if I pushed you away, I pushed you away. I don't know what to say. I don't even know what the argument is, guys. We're all Charger fans. We all want to see the team do well. What are you guys getting upset about? Everybody calm down. Pump the brakes. Damn.
Skirt.
It's freaking June. Let's calm down. Let's calm the hell down, everybody. Let's calm down. Tomorrow's Flag Day. Celebrate it. All right.
Really?
I don't know. I just popped up on my computer on the side like I give a rat's ass. It says Flag Day, June 14th. So, hell, I didn't even know.
Who's the dumbass that made that day?
They're all over the place. All right. So, for Mario Heron, Josh Pele, I'm Dave Pele. We'll see you Tuesday. See you, everybody.